Welcome to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show looking into all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Today we'll be talking to a number of people about topics of interest and importance to Michiganders just like you. Let's get started now. It's a packed show today on this Giving Tuesday edition of the Megacast. We, of course, partner with Share Detroit every Tuesday and Friday at 10:40 to introduce you to one of their over 300 charities and nonprofits making an impact on the variety of different sectors in your community. And we'll have not one, not two, but three different individuals involved with Share Detroit in some capacity on the program with us today, with a brief break in the middle of the program for some fun activities for the kids. So let's get started. Our first guest today, joining us now, is Carly Moore, the Director of Community Impact at Share Detroit. Carly, thanks for being with us on this Giving Tuesday.
Hi, Tyler. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate having you on. It's a great day to go to sharedetroit.org and explore some of the many, and I mean many, 300 plus charities and nonprofits on that website. Whatever cause or whatever different initiative you may be supportive of, there's probably a charity or nonprofit right here in Michigan that you can support and help people right here in your local community.
Definitely. The whole idea of Share Detroit is just, I'm so proud of it, to be able to provide a platform to our community where individuals, regardless of where you're located, what age you are, you can go on Share Detroit, filter by things you're passionate about, like causes that resonate with you, find a local organization that's doing the work, hitting the pavement, and find ways that you can support them. So it's not just monetary donations, although Giving Tuesday, monetary donations are always appreciated. We also have Amazon wish lists, volunteer opportunities, and events. So we really want to make giving accessible to all of Metro Detroit.
More information, of course, can be found on sharedetroit.org. Navigate down the middle of the page, but on the left side, and you'll see there find a nonprofit section where you can learn more about each and every one of these 321 charities and nonprofits. You can also learn more about volunteer opportunities, attending events that support these organizations, as well as ways that you can shop directly for these organizations and get some items for them off their wish lists that may be very important in their missions. All of that is at sharedetroit.org. Sharedetroit.org. And Carly, just speak about how Share Detroit and this initiative has grown, especially in the last couple of years, as the pandemic has mostly subsided and it still has an impact, of course, on our communities, but not maybe necessarily as much as before, but also as these charities and nonprofits, much like our business community is, and much like our individuals too, are recovering from the financial impact and the other impacts of the pandemic.
Yeah, this year, Giving Tuesday, I feel like is more important than ever. With the ongoing health crisis and everything in today's society, funds are tight with nonprofits, and Giving Tuesday has been around for a while. And with Share Detroit, we launched a year and a half ago. We really wanted to focus on bringing Giving Tuesday to our local community and finding those local organizations that are really helping Metro Detroit, making our community a great place to live, shining a spotlight on those smaller grassroots organizations. We started Share Detroit, we launched February of last year, really in the height of the pandemic, with just over 20 nonprofits. So to be here Giving Tuesday 2022 with over 320 nonprofits to choose from, I'm just so proud and so excited for all the good that we can do today.
And just how important is this time of the year? Of course, Giving Tuesday is a big day for financial donations to charities and nonprofits, not just here in Michigan, but around the country and around the world. But really this time of the year, as you get toward the end of the year, toward the holidays, people wanting to, put those last donations in by the end of the year to get them on their 2022 taxes and tax returns as write-offs and all that. Just how important is this time of the year to charities and nonprofits for their operations in this year and in the year ahead?
It's huge. This time of year is really where a lot of nonprofits get the bulk of their funding for the year ahead. So going into 2023, nonprofits are already planning what they need, how much they need in order to really support their cause moving forward into the year ahead. So for year-end giving. Nonprofits, they're wrapping up the year, wrapping up their hard work, and really just trying to fundraise, show the community all the hard work they've done and why their work is so vital. So, especially in 2022, nonprofits are getting hit really hard with inflation and everything that's affecting them. So if you have, it doesn't matter if it's $5, $100 or more, every dollar to a local nonprofit helps, and it makes a huge impact. So I definitely encourage local community members to go out and find an organization that, again, you're passionate about, and develop that relationship with them.
We're joined by Carly Moore, the Director of Community Impact at Share Detroit, on today's edition of the Megacast. You can find more information on Share Detroit, as well as all 321 and counting charities and nonprofits supported on that platform at sharedetroit.org. Sharedetroit.org is the place to go for all of that information. And Carly, of course, it's difficult financial times for a lot of individuals. Not everybody can donate directly to help pad the coffers of these different charities and nonprofits, but there's so many other bits and pieces of information that are provided by these nonprofits and by Share Detroit on your website. Speak to how Share Detroit, this effort, this website of yours at sharedetroit.org, helps people to find a variety of different ways that they can help nonprofits and charities in our local area.
Thank you. That's a great question. So, sharedetroit.org, we're completely unbiased and neutral and completely randomized. So, when you go to sharedetroit.org, you really have the autonomy to filter by causes, location, what's important to you. And then we show you the nonprofits that have self identified as dealing with those specific causes and things like that. So you can then look at this list, click on the nonprofit profiles, read a little bit about what they do, and then see the ways that they've chosen that say that they need help. So if they have a wish list, you can purchase items off of that. And we totally recognize that this time of year can be difficult, not just for nonprofits, but for the greater community. So, Share Detroit as an organization, as a nonprofit, has partnered with 3 local businesses we've raised $16,000. So we're actually giving away $1,000 to 16 different nonprofits today, just to, spread the love and do good in our community.
And we'll have Anthony Martinez also on the program on this Share of Detroit on this Giving Tuesday edition of the Megacast. He'll be coming up from Quality Roots to talk about their partnership with Share Detroit as well. At the moment, we are joined by Carly Moore, the Director of Community Impact at Share Detroit, on today's edition of the Megacast. Carly, you also have a Giving Tuesday matching program that is ongoing. Tell us about that and how not only people's participation in this Giving Tuesday today, but can help these organizations, but how it can really go even further than their donations.
Yeah, I sort of touched on it, but I would love to elaborate. So that $16,000 that we raised courtesy of Quality Roots, Wireless Vision, and Third Act, nonprofits who have worked or today are working to spread the word about Giving Tuesday Detroit specific, our local community movement. They are letting us know, hey, we promoted this on social media, we promoted it on our website. And then from that list of participating nonprofits, we're choosing 16 of them to win $1,000 each, which is really cool because it doesn't matter if you're an all volunteer run organization or one of the bigger nonprofits in Michigan. It's open to everyone who wants to help support this local movement. And it's really just our way as a nonprofit to show the nonprofits that we're here to support them. So if they don't necessarily get a ton of community donations today, maybe this $1,000 from Share Detroit and our community partners will, help offset some of their costs at the end of the year going into 2023.
Carly, anything else that we should be keeping an eye out for or be considering on this Giving Tuesday from your organization or your partnering charities and nonprofits?
Yeah, I think just, there is no gift that's too small. Every dollar goes a long way. And especially with these grassroots organizations, some you might not have even heard of. I really encourage the community to, even if you're not really interested in giving, or, you don't think your able to this year, just go to sharedetroit.org, browse through over 300 nonprofits, and you might find one that, tugs at your heartstrings. And maybe you don't give money today if you're not able to, but you can volunteer or attend an event in the future. Maybe you don't feel comfortable donating just $5, but you can buy an item off of their wish list. So there's really no wrong way to give. And again, no gift too small. So I just encourage the community to go out, see some of these organizations that are really hitting the pavement, doing the work in our community, and let's just support Metro Detroit and make our community even stronger and even better.
Charitydetroit.org is the place to go to find all 321 charities and nonprofits currently supported on the Share Detroit platform, as well as many more to come. Carly, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Tyler. This was great.
Sharedetroit.org, the place to go all day today to find a bunch of charities and nonprofits across a variety of different sectors, a variety of different causes and initiatives that you may be supportive of or want to help at this time of the year as we get into the thick of the holiday season and, of course, the giving season on this Giving Tuesday. We'll take a break on the Megacast. On the other side, we'll talk to one of the local businesses that is helping Share Detroit and many of our local nonprofits in these sorts of efforts on Giving Tuesday. Anthony Martinez from Quality Roots Incorporated joins us next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details.
Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily 5 days radio and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about our program on our website, civiccentertv.com, where you'll find more information on all of our partnering stations across Oakland County and around the state of Michigan on TV, on the radio, and on the web. And find all of our full shows and each individual interview on our website as well on demand, civiccentertv.com/megacast. Joining us now on the program is the marketing director for Quality Roots Incorporated, Anthony Martinez, as his company is also helping a number of different charities and nonprofits in our local area on this Giving Tuesday. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, tell us a little bit about Quality Roots and its business right here in our local area.
Yeah, so we have 4 retail cannabis stores throughout Michigan, Southeast Michigan. So we have Battle Creek, Monroe, Hamtramck, as well as our newest, which is in Corunna and Owasso area.
And so there's plenty of different places to go for your business here in Metro Detroit. And this is not just a business that's located in Michigan. There are several other locations all across the United States. But what's great is that your company is helping really support the community at the grassroots on this Giving Tuesday. Tell us a little bit about those efforts and how Quality Roots is partnering with Share Detroit to help several different nonprofits on this Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this partnership. My background is not only in cannabis, but in nonprofit as well. So this year we teamed up with Share Detroit to give back. Our Giving Green Drive is something that we are launching today. It's going to go for about a week. So until next Tuesday, where you can come in, donate items. So some of these items that I have here, such as socks, brand new items, toothbrushes, some long johns, stuff for winter. And it's really in our effort to get in touch with our communities that we have settled in those four locations. And as we look to expand, it's huge for us to focus in on those communities, especially a time right now during holidays. It's the perfect time to pair up with people like Share Detroit and learn about those nonprofits that they work with.
Locations all throughout southeastern Michigan and expanding. For those of you watching on our TV and our streaming broadcasts, so you can see on the sign behind Anthony, the locations that they're currently placed in Michigan right now, Quality Roots Incorporated, and some of the locations they'll also be joining: Berkeley, Waterford, and I don't have a visual on the third one there at the bottom of that list because of our graphics, but you can find all that information as well on Quality Roots' website, getqualityroots.com. Getqualityroots.com is the place to go for that. In addition to your partnership with Share Detroit, you're also Quality Roots is also currently running another initiative that's also along the lines of being charitable in the spirit of Giving Tuesday and this holiday season. It's called the 12 Days of Giveaways. Tell us about that and how people can participate.
Yeah, absolutely. So in December, we are going to be launching 12 days of giveaways. So we're partnering with some of the top cannabis brands that are also looking to, take us into the future in these communities that we're settling in. So people like Jeters, Terpees, Ripple, they're all going to be part of our 12 days of giveaways. So every day starting on the 13th of December, we're going to be giving away a massive push on different types of products. So not only can people try and sample some of these different cannabis brands out there, but they also know which ones that we're really eager to, continue our partnership and really, go greater lengths on getting word out about how the industry is changing. So, I have people like Ripple who have a product that is a dissolvable THC that you can add in anything. So these types of products are great for people that are, sensitive to dietary, anything diet wise. So they're able to add that in. There's no sugars, there's no carbs attached to it. So something like this is great to get into the hands of people that maybe weren't familiar with this brand before, or weren't familiar with types of products, instead of just, what we're used to, which is either, a smoke or an edible or a brownie of some sort. But we will have those for giveaways as well, all leading up to our Christmas Eve day.
More information can be found on getqualityroots.com, their website, getqualityroots.com, where you can also find more information on their locations in the state of Michigan, the current locations, and keep up to date on everywhere you'll be seeing them across the Great Lakes state going forward. Anthony, what's great about the 12 days of giveaways is it's a great way to get people in the door to your business, but also, especially this time of the year with the partnership you have with Share Detroit and the way that you're working to help local communities through your business as well. Did that sort of coincide with a purpose from Quality Roots Incorporated to not only try to get more people in the door and, of course, increase your sales, but do so at a time where those increased sales are really going to benefit the local communities as well?
Absolutely. So, I always get questions about what can we do to give back, especially inside and outside of the stores. So being able to partner with people like Share Detroit, not only being able to work hand in hand with communities, but people that come into the stores that are very familiar with people, with some of those nonprofits that Share Detroit's working with is kind of key for us. We have downtime, after holidays, so it's a great time to give back in a volunteer way. So being able to have people like Share Detroit that will pair up with us, point us to the right direction for volunteer opportunities is huge. Especially since we are not only a community focused brand, but we're a small business and family oriented brand. So we have a lot of history in retail. Our owners are from background of toy stores throughout Southeast Michigan as well. And that small business really takes, is just really dear to us. So continuing those efforts along with pairing up with those local organizations is something that, it's just ingrained in our mission.
Yeah, the Clark family also known for many of the other local businesses in our communities, such as Warren Pharmacies and Toyology Toys here in Oakland County, where it originated, as well as, of course, Quality Roots all across the state of Michigan, 4 locations currently, and many more to come as well. Learn more information about their products as well as their locations right here in Michigan at getqualityroots.com. Anthony, before we let you go, anything else that you or Quality Roots would like our audience to know at this time?
Yeah. So aside from, the 4 locations that we have currently open in Monroe, Battle Creek, Hamtramck, and Corunna, we are going to be opening up in Waterford as well as Berkeley and Ypsilanti in the beginning of next year. So I'm really excited to get the word out about that, along with partnering with, nonprofit organizations and small businesses out in those areas. So as we look forward to these new store openings, we're definitely looking forward to bringing on new brands and supporting these brands in the 12 days of giveaways. So for more information on how to take part in Giving Tuesday and our efforts for this week, go to our website at getqualityroots.com. Along with visiting the stores and donating some of these items, you'll receive $5 off if you donate these new items, along with if you donate to any nonprofit that's on the Share Detroit platform using the code Quality Roots, you'll be able to show that receipt that you donated and get $5 off your purchase at any Quality Roots location. So Giving Tuesday for one more week at our stores at Quality Roots.
GetQualityRoots.com for information on their products as well as their locations. And of course, ShareDetroit.org to learn more about the 321 and counting charities and nonprofits supported by Share Detroit. And of course, to make your donations, get that receipt, and of course, help out with your bank account a little bit too as you go and shop the great local products from Quality Roots Incorporated. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on. GetQualityRoots.com is their website. ShareDetroit.org for more info on all of those nonprofits. We'll take a break here on the Megacast. On the other side, we'll take a brief break from Giving Tuesday material today to talk about a great activity you can get your kids involved in during the colder seasons. Keep them active even if they don't want to be outdoors. Eddie Okuniewski joins us next. He is the man behind Eddie O basketball camps. He'll join us next to talk about this year's camp and tell us more about how you can get your kids involved this winter. That's next. This is the Megacast.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine. To keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on the Megacast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch the Megacast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on mymytv.com. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. You can learn more information about our program and keep up to date on everything that we're doing here at Civic Center TV on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find more information on all of our partnering TV, radio, and streaming outlets, and find all of our full shows and each individual interview on demand, civiccentertv.com/megacast. And as always, you're welcome to join us live from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday for our live shows across Oakland County and around the Great Lakes state. Well, it's officially the cold season of the year. We're approaching the first official days of winter, and this time of the year, it's tough to get outside with your kids, get them exercise, and keep them active. Maybe drain some of that energy as well when they're not in school. And a great way to go about that is to get them involved in a sport. Of course, easier said than done for the younger aged kids, but one local basketball camp is helping to change that here in our local community here in Oakland County. We're joined now by Eddie Okuniewski from Eddie-O Basketball Camps on today's edition of the Megacast. Eddie, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to have you on. I have previously participated in Eddie-O basketball camps. It's been a long time. I'm far removed from being a fourth grader at the eldest age, but this is a really interesting camp because it doesn't just facilitate basketball games. It really goes into teaching kids the basics of basketball, certainly the fundamentals, but also the fundamentals of team sports.
That's correct. Yes. This basketball program's been going on for decades. It's kind of embarrassing to say that, but it has been. And you're right. So this is a basketball league that starts on Saturdays in January. And part of the league is obviously playing basketball games, but part of it is just like T-ball or rec soccer. It's a practice session, but during that practice session, half the session is practice, half the session is a game. But I will stop the practice session 10-15 minutes into it and get all the groups together and do skill work. And at the most rudimentary level, we start in preschool. We have preschool league, kindergarten league, first grade, all the way up to now it's fifth grade. We spend quite a bit of time on ball handling because that is probably the area that students can really improve the most. Are we doing shooting and passing, all that? Absolutely are, but really focusing heavily on that ball handling. Then they go back to their teams for the rest of the practice session, and then we have games. This all takes place at West Hills Middle School. For our youngest divisions, we have 7 courts there. In the oldest division, we'll have 4 courts at West Hills Middle School, and we also have a beautiful facility at Bloomfield Hills High School that we use for the older kids as well. Younger kids, we have adjustable baskets. Older kids, they're at the 10-foot level. So great experience. We do market it as a family atmosphere. People bring their whole families. And it's a great way to spend a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon in the cold depths of winter. So it's a little bit about our basketball league.
You can find more information on the league and inquire about it by going to facebook.com/Eddie-O basketball. And also you can register at bloomfield.org/recreation in partnership with the Bloomfield Hills School District. Of course, that's where the facilities for Bloomfield Hills High School and West Hills Middle School are ran through. Facebook.com/Eddie-O basketball. And so for Eddie, for families that maybe don't know what sports their kids might be passionate about, or haven't quite developed some of these hobbies, or even are just trying to get their kids out and socializing a little bit more outside of the classroom environment. Why is something like this basketball camp a great opportunity to kind of check all those boxes and, of course, get those kids that physical activity during the winter?
That's a great question, Tyler, and I get asked that quite a bit. And this is really a rec basketball league. It's not travel. It is a rec basketball league. I do let people know if they're interested in that more competitive kind of atmosphere. I have different places for them to go. It's not my program, but if that's what you want, that's where you go. Especially at the preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade level, the skills are not what they would be in high school, obviously. So we do get a lot of beginners, and it is about just effort and improvement. That's our two things we really focus on: effort and improvement. At the earliest grade levels, there's no stealing, there's no double teaming, and no pressing. So at the kindergarten level, every year I have parents who'll come up to me and say, "Eddie, I thought this game was going to be 2-0, and it ended up being 36-34." So there's a lot of up and down. The students have reversible jerseys and shorts. It really looks and feels like real basketball, but at the same time, with no stealing at a very rudimentary level in the early elementary, it avoids the fouling and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great way to get introduced into basketball, and we really work hard to put students from the same school on the same team because they want to play with their friends. We do have a 10-person limit on each team, and that really is for the coaches. We have volunteer coaches who've done a great job right along. I've had coaches who've been here for several years. Some coaches are brand new. A lot of times it's 2 and 3 coaches that work together because Saturdays can be busy and can't make all those times. But they do a phenomenal job, and they do really follow the philosophy of the Eddie O basketball camp. And if you go to eddieobasketball.com, you'll see where the philosophy is, league rules. We really, again, encourage effort and improvement, and really de-emphasize the winning and losing. There's going to be time for that as students get older, and yes, we have score clocks, but really try to de-emphasize that. When you see a first grade game, the score in real life might be 22-2, but that score clock is only to say 12-2, and there's only a 10-point margin, and a lot of it is because the players can't focus. They're looking at 22-2, and that's all they can think about. Their coach is 22-2. Mom, it's 22-2. Can you believe it's 22-2? And so we really kind of focus on that 10-point differential so the students can really focus on, again, effort and improvement, getting used to playing basketball, getting used to get up and down the court. And quite frankly, it's for a more advanced kid also who just loves to play. So we really hit all of the different areas when it comes to skill level of basketball. So come and join us. It's a great program to have, and been loved doing it for quite a long time.
eddieobasketball.com for more information. You can also find them on Facebook at facebook.com/eddieobasketball as well. The camp begins January 28th of next year and runs through March 18th. Again, more information, eddieobasketball.com, or you can contact Eddie O himself, Eddie, at eddieobasketball.com with any questions and information, as well as if you'd like to become a coach for your kids' team or another team in the league during this season that begins, of course, with the coaches meeting on January 21st before the January 28th beginning of the season. And so, Ed, for you, having been the man behind this camp, been the one who founded and created this and been running this for as long as you have, where really was that origin for you, where you decided to make this happen and put this plan into action?
Well, started my teaching career in the late 80s, And honestly, it was I was a teacher and a coach at Andover High School. Coached varsity basketball, varsity boys golf, varsity girls golf. Always was a sports advocate. Played high school basketball, 4 years of college basketball, so it was always in my blood. And the rec director at the time asked if I wanted to do a camp for kindergartners, third graders through third graders, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds great. And so that was the start of this whole program. And it started with a summer camp, which still goes on today. Also, we do 3 weeks of kindergarten through third grade basketball camp. We call it Small Shooters Fun Camp, which is just another layer of the Eddie O basketball. We do those in July. But started it that way, and it has evolved, throughout the years, and it's really evolved because we got great parent support and great parent input, and we started this a couple decades ago now, was our parent / coach game. So at the end of the season, we've played several basketball games, and coach has been in there helping, and parents have been around, and we have this parent coach game where I have reversible jerseys for the parents as well. And it's moms playing against moms, it's dad playing against dads, and it is a blast. It's a blast because the kids are out there, they get to see their parents playing, they're so excited. A lot of great memories have been made. I work here at Brother Rice High School as the principal, and have had incoming ninth graders come in, and their dads or moms, and dad specifically, I remember this, it's like, when my kid was in first grade, I played in that game and I was the MVP, and I'll always remember that, and it's just a great memory for their parents. These times go by so fast. I always say the days are long, but the years go by so fast, and this is just a great opportunity to spend time with your family, create some memories, and again, just mark it as really good family time as well. So, yeah.
EddieOBasketball.com is the website to learn more information, as well as to register your kids to play in this league. Of course, pre-K through fifth grade now, and the camp begins on January 28th. EddieOBasketball.com. And who is this camp open to? Is it just in the Bloomfield Hills School District, or is it open to those in the throughout the local community?
Good question. It originates here in Bloomfield Hills. But if you're outside the district, it's an extra $5 to participate. You do have to create a free community pass account, which you can locate through the website that Tyler was talking about. It is people from all over the community. I do have referees that work on the weekends, for these games, and they're former basketball players that in the Eddie O League. The camp counselors, who are high school and college students, in the summertime, most of the time they're former players. And this summer and this winter too, I had people working from 11 different schools. If it's Brother Rice, Marion, Bloomfield Hills High School, Groves, Seaholm, Notre Dame Prep. There's several schools that our kids go to or come from, and to your point, Tyler, it's open to anybody. And the next step is, as you having a great time at this and enjoying it, and you might be, as a student or a player, find yourself in a role as a coach later on at the summer camp, or as a referee in the winter basketball league. So that's pretty exciting, and love that I can say that these referees and coaches were one of the players in the league years before. So yep, but it's open to everybody, and love that you have the website up there, and that's the best way to get some more information. So
EddieOBasketball.com is that website. Again, the camp begins on January 28th. Registration through the Bloomfield Hills School District can also be found at bloomfield.org. Ed, thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks for having me. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe.
You as well, Ed. We'll take a break here on the Megacast. On the other side, of course, it is Giving Tuesday. We've talked to a couple of different organizations, both Share Detroit as well as a business that's helping many charities and nonprofits in partnership with Share Detroit. On the other side, we'll talk to one of the over 300 charities and nonprofits supported on the Share Detroit platform, one organization that is taking the warmth that you give to them and providing warmth to Detroiters. We'll be joined next with one of those charities. Coming up next on the Megacast is Wendy Shepherd, the Executive Director of Mittens for Detroit. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12th, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28th, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show looking into all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about our program by visiting civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find more information on all of our partnering stations across the Great Lakes state, including My Michigan TV, and find all of our full programs and each individual interview on demand as well. Those are usually posted by mid to late afternoon on the day of our live shows. civiccentertv.com/megacast for all of that information and on-demand coverage. And of course, you are welcome to join us Monday through Friday across our network, live from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m., as well as live to tape on different outlets such as Orion Neighborhood Television in Northern Oakland County. Joining us now on the Megacast is one of over 300 charities and nonprofits supported on the Share Detroit platform on this Giving Tuesday. Wendy Shepherd, the Executive Director of Mittens for Detroit, joins us now. Wendy, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Appreciate having you on. First off, if you could just give us a little bit of information about the history and, of course, the mission of Mittens for Detroit.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. We have been around since 2010. We started as a community initiative with volunteers. The founder decided that she wanted to start something that would that's around, right during the recession, and to start a charity that would in fact help people help others without having to give cash, because cash was so hard. And the idea of having Detroiters help other Detroiters with new mittens and gloves to keep them warmer in the winter resonated. And in the first year, we did 4 months of a campaign, and that raised over 8,500 pairs of mittens and gloves. The next year it increased, and the third year it was obvious we needed to get a fiscal sponsor and work towards being a nonprofit. So all we do, and we became a nonprofit in 2016, all we do is we collect, purchase, and distribute brand new pairs of mittens and gloves to kids, teens, and adults in need in and around Detroit. The cities that we hit outside of Detroit are Highland Park, Hamtramck, where all the kids in the schools get gloves, Dearborn, same thing, all the kids in the schools get gloves, and then also Pontiac. And that is its own project that started last year with tremendous community support. And it even got its own logo this year. So it's called Mittens for Detroit in Pontiac.
And this is really an important initiative in our local area and anywhere in the state of Michigan or in the places in the U.S. Or around the world where we're in colder seasons of the year, particularly in the late fall and into the winter, where some families, some individuals don't have the resources to have some of those warmer clothes, or at the very least have those warmer clothes and access to a warm environment to put a roof over their head. I mean, the Detroit News today, Sarah Rahal had a really great article on DetroitNews.com. Warming centers have been opened all across the city of Detroit as emergency shelter use has increased. Detroit actually opening 3 separate warming centers through the Detroit Health Department and the Housing and Revitalization Department as well. And that all connects into your initiative too, to provide some of those warmer clothing materials to these individuals. Just how much of an issue is this, particularly in Detroit and in the metropolitan area?
It's huge. It's huge. People think of mittens and gloves. We all have them. If you have a job, you're going to use them when you go to work in the winter. You're going to scrape off your car, keep your hands nice and warm. You send your kids off to school wearing their new mittens, hopefully with some mitten clips, so you don't have to keep replacing the mittens. We send the kids out to play in the snow. And that's the way it is. And even people just think it's a small little thing. It's hard to get grants to pay for basic needs in terms of this kind of clothing. So what we look at is, by working with the distribution partners, we every year get requests for between 40 and 50,000 pairs of gloves. We only give out new and unused pairs. We're very into the dignity of the gift, because a lot of these people, when they're getting, if they're getting them from a shelter or whatever, they might be getting used gloves or getting somebody else's. Many children do not have adequate winter clothing, and going to school becomes a problem if you've got a lot of kids in the family, because you might not have gloves. I hear from teachers where they say they call the parents and say, Wendy wasn't in school this week. What's going on? And the parent says, it's rough times and I had to make some decisions, and all the kids in the family don't have winter clothes, and it wasn't Wendy's turn. She went last week. And that's legit. And we see people out on the street with socks. They would use socks or plastic bags or combination of socks and plastic bags to help try to keep their hands warm. So our goal is to help the organizations help these folks who really are in need. And when you look at how many are requested, we only get about maybe 30,000 in a year. And that sounds like a lot, but when your need is 40 to 50,000, you can see there's a gap. Of the pairs that we get, and like I said, 30,000 is a lot of pairs. About 1,500 to 2,000 of them are handmade. And they're not just handmade, knit, crocheted, or sewn. Just from the metro area, we have donors from all over the country. And it's fascinating to see how fabulous people are when they start realizing that such a little thing can make a huge difference.
We're joined by Wendy Shepherd, Executive Director of Mittens for Detroit, on today's edition of the Megacast. You can find more information in a couple of different places. Of course, sharedetroit.org. You can find information about Mittens for Detroit, as well as 320 other charities and nonprofits at this time. And you can also go directly to Mittens for Detroit's website, mittensfordetroit.org, mittensfordetroit.org. For all that information. You have an initiative also going on called The Big Sort. Tell us about that and how people can get involved to also provide some additional help to your organization.
Absolutely. As you can imagine, with 30,000 pairs coming in, if I could turn this around and you could see what my office looks like, you would say, that's so much chaos, because it is. This is the time where I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of mittens. Some of them are packed and waiting to be picked up to go out to. These happen to be schools, and those are waiting to go out, the schools to come by and pick them up. We use our big volunteer initiative is called The Big Sort. It runs from October through March, was when we're done giving out gloves, because that's about the time it gets warmer. We need people to come down to our office, which is down in the First National Building, which is in Detroit, right next to Campus Martius. And they come in teams. We get a lot of, thank goodness the pandemic is over and people are back in their office, because we get a lot of businesses in this area find this really convenient because they can just walk over. We get everything from National Honor students come. We get church or community groups. We have so many different kinds of teams. Occasionally we'll have a theater troupe come in when they're in town doing a play. And what happens is they'll come into the office and they have to take this collection of chaos, all these mittens and gloves that have come in, and sort them out by sizes. Then they count the sizes and everything gets written down because gloves and mittens are our currency. So we treat every glove as a pair of gloves as if it is hard, cold cash. So we need to know what came in from whom and where did it go. So everything is tracked with the gloves coming in and then going out. I often have people coming in and I had a team last week and I said to one of the guys, and I can see from the look on your face, you thought this was going to be an easy task. It's a little complicated, but it's really, really fun. And we rock out to whatever anybody wants to listen to. I serve only junk food because when I used to serve healthy food, everybody would say, do you have any cookies or chocolate or Cheetos? And I said, no Cheetos here, no orange fingers in this place. But we are booked for December, but I really need more volunteers for January and February. Because when our collection period closes January 10th, we get that first couple of weeks of January, a ton of gloves come in. And then the people who end on the 10th, more come in. And the more people we have coming in to sort, the faster we can get hands warm.
You can find more volunteer opportunities and information, as well as the timing of all these different opportunities by visiting sharedetroit.org. Click on their Find a Nonprofit section and search for Mittens for Detroit. You'll find more info on these volunteer needs now and into the future as well. You can also do that on their website at mittensfordetroit.org. And you mentioned that you bring in, Wendy, tens of thousands of pairs of gloves and hats and gloves and mittens and other materials throughout the year. And I would assume that many of those are handmade, but some of them, maybe even the bulk of them, are people buying these materials and directly donating them to your organization. Yeah. So I want to ask you, what specifically are you looking for? Is your organization looking for in each one of these pairs?
Thank you so much for asking that. We get asked that question so often that I actually, on our YouTube video, we have a YouTube video now on how to choose pairs, and you can get to that through our website. But it's because people always ask, and it's a 10-minute video, but it's funny, and you'll get to see a lot of show and tell. We look for gloves that they have to be new, and we like them to be warm and durable. And a lot of times people will get us the magic gloves that stretch. And the problem with the magic gloves that stretch is that if you were here, you could see my ring shows through it. The web of it lets the heat go out and the cold air come in, and they're not durable. So you can get great gloves even, for a few dollars, but just really look for warm and durable. The kinds of gloves that we buy include nice work. We work with Broner Hat and Gloves, which is our partner since day one. We get mittens and gloves. These gloves that you see here, we get these at an incredibly low rate, and they would lower than wholesale, and they would retail for $18 to $20 or so. If you're hand making them and you live in Roswell, New Mexico, like one of our lovely people, Donna Davis, does, you could send us mittens with aliens on them or snowmen. There's a woman, she calls herself Up North Grandma P, and she does fantastic knit with, see how she puts a little bit longer cuff on them to help the glove meet the area here around your wrist. We get sewn pairs, and these sewn pairs, these were made by, among another 150 of these, were made by sewing students at Fraser High School, who are actually coming in to do a big sort pretty soon. So they can be made from fleece, they can be upcycled, which from, you may have heard of that, from various sweaters. These are magnificently worn. Mary makes these and sends them in. But we get gloves from everywhere. And a real popular style, if you're looking for a real popular style to give, are what I call glittens, where they have fingers, and then this part comes right over the top, so that when someone needs to use their fingers, maybe to use a bus token or to eat or even to have a cigarette, whatever it might be that they need to do, they're able to keep their hands warm. Veterans, we work with Michigan Veterans Foundation and No Veteran Left Behind. They love these fabulous pears from Kohl's, and they're warm, they're durable, and we really like working with all of the different groups that we have. We find that people are able to, they mail them to us. One of the good things, and I almost forgot this is our big Giving Tuesday focus with two Giving Tuesday focus. One of them is you can buy mittens today. It's not Giving Tuesday is 10 years old and it has matured into really focusing on, I've got a volunteer group coming. We have people who want to donate stuff. And we really, as people, focus on mittens and gloves for all ages. You can go to we have an Amazon Smile charity wish list, which is a curated list that are these kinds of mittens and gloves that you would be able to see. This is what Wendy buys when she's buying. And I love spending other people's money buying mittens and gloves. It's been the best part of my job. And you can go, that wish list is both on Share Detroit and on our page, as well as Facebook today. So you can buy and send them right to us. And the sooner you buy them and get them to us, the sooner they get out. When our collection boxes, like I said, they come in, and you might drop some into one of the collection boxes, and you can find the locations on our website. But they might not be given out for a while because the box might not be turned in. This is an instant gratification thing. Buy them on our Amazon page; they'll come right to us. So that's one thing. And if I can just say what our other thing is we're trying to help people inflation-proof their donations. We have what's called the Hand Warming Heroes Circle. And these are monthly donors, and the lowest donation to get in is $10, and you can give as much as you want every month. It becomes a real easy subscription. It's kind of like Netflix, or if you order I order cat litter that comes once a month, and it's just, I don't even think about it. It just comes, it arrives, it's a paid for every month, comes out of my card. And a lot of nonprofits, you'll notice, are switching their focus to helping people make their donation easier and to kind of grow. We have people who started donating with us in the circle, in the Handwarming Heroes Circle, when we started in August 2018, and this group has raised $16,000, and they've grown. Some of them grow from $10 to $25 to $50 to $100 a month. So it's a real flexible.
Wendy, we appreciate it. We are up against it. I gotta wrap up for this edition of the program, but we appreciate you coming on. And of course, you can find more information about Mittens for Detroit at mittensfordetroit.org. Wendy, thank you so much.
Thank you. And everybody stay warm.
Mittensfordetroit.org is their website. That does it for today's edition of the Megacast. We'll return soon with a new episode.